I didn't become the hunter by choice. I became it by necessity. Long before I learned how to strike, I learned how to run. Long before I learned the art of silence, I learned the sound of footsteps chasing me in the dark. For years, I wasn't the threat. I was the target. They chased me with their words, their doubts, their cruelty. People don't need weapons to kill your spirit. They use judgment, shame, and the kind of silence that feels like a knife against your spine. I remember every moment they tried to bury me. Every time they pointed fingers instead of offering hands. Every time they watched me fall and smiled like it was entertainment. Back then, I wasn't strong. I wasn't strategic. I wasn't cold. I was just trying to understand why the world hated the parts of me that hadn't even fully formed. But the hunted learn things the hunters never do. You learn how to breathe quietly, how to lock your emotions behind stone doors, how to survive without being seen. You learn how to read a room the way warriors read maps. You learn the weight of intentions. You learn the lies behind their smiles. And above all, you learn that no one is coming to protect you. The hunted become their own shield. Night after night, I moved through the world like a ghost. Silent, unnoticed, drifting between people and pain with nothing holding me together except the promise that one day I would stop running. But pain has a strange way of transforming you. It sharpens, it molds, it rebuilds. Everything they did to break me became the foundation of someone they could never predict. Every betrayal hardened my bones. Every ambush sharpened my mind. Every escape strengthened my instinct. And instinct is how hunters are born. There came a night when the fear inside me began to sound less like terror and more like awakening. Something shifted. A quiet glow, a cold fire, a voice inside whispering, "Enough. Enough running. Enough hiding. Enough shrinking myself to fit places that were never safe to begin with." The hunted version of me died that night. Its final breath became my first step as something else entirely. I didn't rise because I was strong. I rose because I had nothing left to lose. And men with nothing left to lose don't stay hunted for long. They transform. They adapt. They evolve. They stop fearing the enemy and start studying him. When I stopped running, the world changed shape. The shadows stopped feeling like prisons and started feeling like home. The night stopped feeling like a threat and started feeling like an ally. Because in that darkness, in that silent, merciless rebirth, a predator opened his eyes for the first time. They hunted me until I learned the rules of the hunt. They chased me until I learned how to track. They cornered me until I learned how to strike. And from that point on, I wasn't prey anymore. I was becoming the hunter. Part 2. They hunted me until I became the hunter. 3 minutes to 6 minutes. The transformation, the shift of power, the assassin awakens. When someone spends enough time running, they start memorizing the terrain. Every corner, every silence, every shadow. Eventually, the hunted knows the environment better than the hunter does, and that's when everything shifts. I remember the first time I heard their footsteps, but I didn't run. I stood still, calm, focused, not because I felt safe, but because I finally understood something they never imagined I'd figure out. Fear isn't a weakness, it's a compass. Fear tells you where the danger is and where the opportunity hides. Once I stopped fighting fear and started using it, every move became clearer. Every threat became predictable. Every enemy became readable. The hunted version of me trembled, but the emerging hunter inside me, he calculated. While they chased me blindly, I studied the rhythm of their movements, how loud they breathed, how slow they turned, how careless their confidence made them. People who think they're in control are always the easiest to destroy. I learned to match their pace, to mirror their silence, to disappear just long enough that their ego convinced them they had already won. The world calls it paranoia, but hunters call it awareness. Awareness became my shield. Patience became my armor. Stillness became my weapon. Most people don't understand how powerful stillness is, the way the world bends around a quiet mind, the way enemies reveal themselves the moment you stop reacting. Stillness is where assassins are born. And as I stood there in that dark corridor, for the first time not running, I felt something I'd never felt before: control. The night that once terrified me started to listen to me. Every shadow moved like it recognized its master. Every silence echoed like a warning. Because darkness has a rule of its own. It protects the one who respects it. They didn't respect it. They barged into it like fools, swinging wildly, screaming, trying to dominate a world they never bothered to understand. But I honored it. I learned its language. I learned how to breathe with it, how to step with it, how to hide inside it until hiding wasn't hiding. It was positioning. I became so familiar with the dark that it stopped feeling like blindness and started feeling like vision. Because in the shadows, the loud fall first, the careless fall fastest, and the confident fall hardest. One night, as their footsteps approached once again, something inside me finally snapped. Not in fear, but in clarity. I whispered to myself, they think they're getting closer, but I'm the one closing in. That was the moment the hunted died. It didn't make a sound. It simply stepped aside, and the hunter took its place. My pulse slowed. My breathing softened. My mind sharpened. I moved with a purpose that only someone who's been broken can ever truly understand. I wasn't escaping anymore. I was stalking, watching, choosing. And when the time was right, I stepped out of the shadow, not as prey, but as the consequence of their arrogance. From that night on, they were no longer chasing me. They were running from me. They used to say my name with laughter. Now, they only say it in whispers. That's what happens when the one you hunted stops running and starts walking toward you. Once I became the hunter, everything slowed down. The world didn't feel chaotic anymore. It felt mapped, defined, predictable. The same patterns that once trapped me became trails I could follow. The same tricks that fooled me became tools I could use. The same people who cornered me became prisoners of their own habits. I stopped asking, why are they doing this to me? And started thinking, how can I use what they are doing against them? That's the difference between prey and predator. Prey reacts. Predators redesign the battlefield. They thought the shadows made me weaker, but the shadows made me patient. They thought isolation broke me. Isolation made me observant. They thought fear controlled me. Fear became my data. Every time they tried to trap me, they revealed another hole in their own defense. Every plan they built around my destruction left an opening for my ascension. They mistook survival for surrender. They mistook silence for defeat. They mistook my stillness for being scared. But I wasn't scared. I was storing energy. I was saving my breath for the moment it mattered. Because hunters don't waste movement, don't waste emotion, Don't waste pain. They waited for me to break. Instead, I became calculated. They wanted me exhausted. Instead, I became efficient. They expected me to beg. But I stopped speaking their language the moment I understood this truth. I owe them nothing. Not my story. Not my explanation. Not my pain. What they did to me doesn't define me anymore. How I responded to it does. And I responded by becoming everything they were never ready to face. I became precise. I became focused. I became relentless. I didn't need revenge. I needed evolution. Revenge asks, how do I hurt them back? Evolution asks, how do I rise so high that they can never reach me again? So I chose evolution. That's why I no longer stalk them. I outgrow them. I don't waste nights plotting their downfall. I spend nights building a life where their existence no longer matters. They wanted to be the center of my fear. Now, they're not even in the radius of my concern. But don't mistake that for mercy. Mercy is for those who ever cared. I don't care. Not anymore. I am not hunting them because I'm obsessed with their destruction. I am hunting every limit they placed on my name, every lie they spoke over my future, every ceiling they tried to lock above my head. I am hunting the version of me they thought would stay broken. And I'm erasing it. They will feel the consequences of what they did, not because I'm chasing them, but because I've become the proof that their attempt to destroy me only refined me. One day, they'll see me rise, higher than they planned, further than they believed, stronger than they ever imagined. And in that moment, they'll remember every time they laughed instead of helped, pushed instead of pulled, hunted instead of healed. That's when the truth will hit them. They weren't chasing a victim. They were building a predator. They hunted me until my fear hardened into instinct, until my pain sharpened into intuition, until my doubt burned into focus. They hunted me until I became the hunter. And now, I don't look over my shoulder. I don't flinch at sounds behind me. I don't tighten up when the world goes dark. I am the thing that moves in that darkness. They can surround me, outnumber me, slander me, plot against me. It doesn't matter.